Okay, so I'm still joined by Dr Shamsabadi. We're going to just have some bonus thoughts. Uh, First bonus thought is, wow, it was easy to create COVID misinformation. The video, which will be posted in the description to all the videos, which now has been labelled misinformation, is wrong. And I had good intentions, and I had done some research. I thought I knew probability. I knew how to do probability trees, and it seemed legit. And that's the key thing here. The best lies are the lies that are surrounded by truth. And so the best
Yeah.
misinformation is the kind of misinformation that had loads of truth in it. Like how legit, like when I show, because I showed the video to some other people, no one found any mistakes in it. No one. And I reckon that if you show that video to the entire population of the world, of the UK, it will be a absolute minority that would see any mistake in it at all.
Yeah, because I mean, fundamentally, the logic you explained everything with was correct, as in everything followed from one another. You just made a wrong initial assumption, which didn't get picked up, but everything you explained after that followed nicely. And
Which is crazy. And I don't, when I think about how bad the misinformation is, I think it is bad because on one hand, the key messages were that, look, if you get a negative result, don't trust it too much. It could still be positive. You could still have COVID. Keep safe. Key
yeah,
message, fine, good message. But the idea that if you take two tests back to back and they're both negative, that gives you an 84, a higher chance of you not having COVID. Not true.
hmm
It's still, you
yeah,
could still have just below the amount of viral load needed for it to be detected, just
hmm
below both times.
yeah, exactly.
So that
Well,
that
if
is
you
that's wrong.
if you are just below the first time, if you take it immediately, you're going to display just below the second time. You're not suddenly going to, your body's not going to suddenly conjure up more virus particles for you to detect positive on that result.
So interesting. I tell you what, when I was so ready to post on my maths WhatsApp group, being like, "Hi guys, made a video, I've solved it for you." But now
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to post an hour and a half, three videos across an hour and 40
Yeah.
minutes. I'm like, none of it's true. Everything
If
you've
you
said
want to
was
be
wrong.
if you want to be super sure, take three tests instead, you know.
Yeah, yeah, because then you're gonna be 180% effective. That's
Yeah.
definitely not true. Definitely not
Yeah,
true.
so I think the amount of trust we can place in these tests is intrinsically linked to the sensitivity. Like if we had portable PCR tests, it's not possible. But if we did have like tests that match the sensitivity of PCR, would be all for it. I mean, the same way we're saying a negative sorry, a positive result is absolutely COVID because the specificity is so high. If the sensitivity matched that, we wouldn't have any sorts of complaints. There wouldn't be any sort of video that we're making right now.
And that is a really important thing to say, is that at the end of the day, the more the more sensitive the test, the more likely it is to find your positive result.
Exactly.
Which
So
makes
if we
sense.
had
That makes sense. Doesn't matter. You don't even need to know why. You don't. Although it's
yeah,
important to know why if you're then going to use the fallacy that I did, which is wrong. But at the end of the day, more sensitive, the better. And these tests, the lateral flow tests, if you have a high viral load, they're going to find it.
yeah. So, basically, the way we should think about sensitivity is what are the chances this test can pick up my level of COVID? And by level, I mean just how much you're displaying in your system. Nothing to do with symptoms, nothing to do with immune response. So, yeah. Basically, sensitivity is if I have COVID, what are the chances I am within the detection range of of this test? Not what are the chances this test um, detects the virus in me.
So interesting. So interesting. Um, are there any additional thoughts you have, Andre?
Um, well, with regards to this,
With regards to this, although
uh,
if you want a tangent, I love a tangent.
I'm sure there are. I can't think of anything at the moment. Not being put
So
too much on the spot, but I'm sure there's
so what I'm
so
going
much.
to say
Like I
is
could talk about this topic for a long time.
we might end up, because it's fun, doing more of these. I reckon we will over the next however long this continues
Yeah.
for. Um, the other thing that I would recommend, is, and I'll put it in the description, and I've said it to you already, the 3 blue 1 brown video about Bayesian statistics and medical testing. It's not exactly the same as this, but it does really nicely talk about this very, very interesting paradox between what your brain thinks is intuition and what's actually correct maths about testing, which is the idea that if you have a positive test result, what's the probability that you actually have the disease? And that video is amazing. I'll link it in chat.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of colleagues who do work of Bayesian probabilities of disease diagnosis based on the amount of genetic information in their system, and it's truly mind blowing. It's information that goes over my head. It's not really my area of expertise.
So the video is very good. I'll link it in the description. So, last thing to say, thank you so much for everyone that has got this far, or even just watched the bonus video. Dr Shamsabadi, you're an absolute legend. It's a joy. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If I was really hip, I would have that thing that all YouTubers are doing out, which says, only 4% of all my viewers are subscribed to my channel. It would really help me out. Thanks, man.
I don't think I personally follow anyone who does anything like that.
Everyone's doing it. Yeah. Everyone's doing it now.
Just as another thought I've just come across. If you are given 2 lateral flow devices, there is no point in taking both. If you take the more sensitive one, you already like that. If you're taking the most sensitive one, that already covers the detection range that could be covered in the less sensitive one.
So do the other one 3 days later.
It's probably best if you take the same one 3 days later, because that way you're playing with the same limit of detection. But if you have access to 2, if you have access to 1 of each, then take them 3 days apart. It will tell you much more information than taking them at the same time. It's next to useless because
don't do 2 tests at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
You won't be getting more information and you'll be wasting a test.
Yes. So interesting. Okay, Andre.
Yep.
In no professional way, you're a ledge. I will see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. Dreams.
Bye everyone.